Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the CarPod, the podcast I record in my car because it's the only good time I have to film things like this. Today, I'm going to talk about a career story that I've never talked about. For those who don't know or are new to this channel, my name is Kolhoff, and I am a filmmaker from Toledo, Ohio. And this channel is going to be a lot of different things. It's going to be this podcast. It's going to be where I put various short films I do and work and things like that. But this story about when I worked with my friend a while back for a few years and how it got me to where I am now. Hopefully you mainly listen to this, plug me in while you're doing your dishes or on your way to work or, whatever you like to listen to podcasts. So, I used to be a cameraman for my friend Haylie on her show, Hayliestory. It seemed like it had like another name other than Hayliestory. City Surge, that's what it was. Where we basically went around town in the area, Northwest Ohio, Great Lakes area, and we picked various. Oh, come on, person. We picked various attractions in the area, and we did episodes on them. And I don't remember how many episodes we did, but we probably did this from 2018 to 2021. I don't know. 2020? I don't know. Well, we did it for a few years. And I'll link her channel to this podcast so you can watch all the episodes. But yeah, how it all started was, it started with me working at Best Buy, which I'll also link that podcast to this so you can hear that story, because she was one of the people I was referring to that I met at Best Buy that changed my life. So yeah, this girl comes in and she wants to buy an Osmo Mobile, those stabilizer gimbal things that you get so you can film with your phone. So she got one of those. Here I am already yawning. So she bought one of those for me, and she bought one of those for me, and we followed each other on Facebook, and back then, I had time, and I would go out and just shoot random stuff. Don't quite have nearly as much time for that anymore, but I try to get out every now and then. But basically, downtown Toledo has changed a lot, but at the time, they had these, people tunnels, overpasses of the road, so you'd have Summit Street, you'd have Imagination Station and some other building, and there was a tube that connected the two buildings. So I got in that with my camera and I shot a time lapse. And she commented on it and thought it was cool. And then she messaged me, and I think I can put it up on the screen here. And she messaged me and said that she has this web series idea, and she wanted to know if I would help her. And I don't really remember how she blindly trusted me to do that, but I think she was impressed by my audacity to just randomly shoot this stuff around town. And if I had enough passion to do that, then I must be talented. So ironically, the first episode she wanted to do was of this orchard up in Michigan, just above the Ohio-Michigan border. It was called Bennett's Orchard. And ironically, my family and I would go there every beginning of fall, every year in the beginning of fall. And we would get seconds, which I think are like pears. And we'd get different things and just, explore the orchard. And that was our family tradition. Well, now she's asking me to do a video about that, and I'm like, cool. Like, I definitely want to do that because that place means a lot to me, and I already know a lot about it because I've been there so much. But that was our first episode we did together. And we just kind of kept going from there and doing different things. What else do we do? I think one of my favorite things we did was an episode, like a series. It was, it was a Cheers trail. It was a Cheers trail, like Port Clinton area. What was that? Lake Erie Shores and Islands. That was the client. It was Lake Erie Shores and Islands. And they have a Cheers trail, which is like basically a bunch of different bars along the islands and the Sandusky area, Port Clinton area. And I think it was one of those you buy a drink and then they stamp your passport or whatever. And I think that was one of my favorite ones that we did because I'm a summer guy. I love being around water, around lakes or oceans or whatever. That's my favorite thing. And that whole area is my favorite area in like the Toledo area. I'm always so happy when I go out there because I just feel like I'm in some beach town or whatever. And there's just a lot out there to do. You don't even feel like you're in Ohio when you're out there. That's also where the world famous Cedar Point is, in that area. I think that was one of my favorite episodes we did. Having free reign for the most part to go around and film, and we got to explore like Putin Bay, Kelly's Island, and ride on golf carts and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. We also did, what else do we do? Why am I blanking on this? We did a decent amount of episodes, and some of them were on specific areas, some of them were on like bigger areas. But yeah, for some reason I'm blanking on what else we did. But we did a lot of different things. And they were very challenging because it was just us two. That's it. One time we had some help. Our friend Laura, she's with Laura's Lenses. She came on a few times and helped us out, so that was great. It was fun to have three of us there. But for the most part, it was Haylie and I. And she would do a good majority of the work, like as far as client communications, and she was basically a director, producer, and main talent. She would be talking on camera, and then I would be filming and editing. That whole project was a really fun thing and a really good thing for me to do because we made it look like a whole crew worked on that when it was literally just us two. And a little trick I would use to make it look like it was worked on by a whole crew in multiple cameras was after we would filming is always a rush. Like, we do our talking pieces, then sometimes I didn't get to get all the B-roll I wanted to get. B-roll is, for those who don't know, is that footage that gets put over A-roll, which is interviews. I would almost never have the amount of time I wanted to shoot that. I would literally go back to the places and shoot more on a completely different day than we filmed. A lot of times I'd take my wife and we would just enjoy it, but I would also film while we were there. So that way, because like by the time you do the talking pieces and film some B-roll, you're cooked. Wow, I just used a Gen Z term. Well, I mean, really though, like, you're just tired, you're beat, and it starts to affect your work because you don't want to get all those cinematic shots because you don't have the energy. Yeah, so that was one of my biggest secrets of how I made it look like more of a production than it was. Okay, because I'd go back and do that. Film is the only thing that I overachieve on, and quite frankly, I get fought on that constantly. Like, no one ever wants me to do what I know I need to do, but I just do it anyways. And like, I think Haylie and I butt heads a lot because of that. And I still butt heads with people to this day, but you gotta do it. And I hate when I'm editing something, I don't have enough footage, and I feel like the video is not as good as it could be, and it bothers me, which I guess is a good thing. That experience has led me to it gave me a lot of experience that has been very valuable to me in my career, and that's how I think I landed my job at TAM, at a media company. And at work, we do this project called Behind the Hook, which is this tractor pulling docuseries. And I use what I learned from doing Hayliestory for that series, and I think I'll link that down below as well. And it helped. So, Haylie, thanks for blindly trusting me, because you challenging me helped me in my career. But yeah, basically we worked together for a few years, and then I got into a relationship, and I'm now married, and my time to work on it just kept sinking and sinking and sinking. But Haylie is still doing things. Shortly after we parted ways, she did Small Town Charm, which was a really cool series. It was basically like City Surge, but it was shorter, and she would focus on small towns, which I thought was really cool because I love small towns. And she also has done a few different jobs here and there, and she currently is on PBS doing her show, which I think is amazing. Because she's always wanted to be on TV. Her biggest inspiration is Samantha Brown. I'm sure you all know who that is. But Haylie has always wanted to be on TV, which I respect her for, because most people do social media, but she wants to do TV. And I have respect for her for that, because those are two very different worlds that I'm learning. TV, you have to go through a lot of hoops just to get seen, and there's just so many more filters for TV, and it's very expensive. That is no easy endeavor. And I think she's gotten a lot of, I don't know if discouragement is the right term, but a lot of people think she's kind of crazy. Which I know how that feels, because people always think I'm crazy for what I do. But like, social media versus TV is a different ballgame, because one, it's free, and you can put whatever you want for the most part on social media, but you gotta play the algorithm game. And I think playing the algorithm game and even getting a show on air are similar struggles in a way. That could be a whole episode in itself. But yeah, and honestly, I have very little interest in being on TV, although I would want my stuff. I do hope that things I do end up on like streaming services or TV would be great, because that would just boost your audience. But I mean, I feel like a lot of people nowadays are either on social media or streaming. So I guess like traditional TV, I'm a little less interested in, but like streaming services, absolutely. And you can reach her through streaming, and I'll put that all in the description. But like, I really respect Haylie's drive. She's always been very determined. She's one of the most determined people I know, and I think I really admire that, because I'm driven too, but I don't know. She might, in some cases, I feel like she has me a little bit beat, but she definitely inspires me. So that's really cool. I'm trying to think of what else to say about this. But yeah, I mean, I feel like her and I are, we're still great friends. We don't talk on a regular basis, but like every time we talk, it's like we pick right back up from where we left off, and I love seeing what she's doing. She's done talks at her college. She's always at networking events, which I think is awesome, because back when we did the show, there wasn't a lot of media resources around here, like Film Toledo or Toledo Creatives. But she's at a lot of those now, and she gets to meet a lot of different people, and she's been on this big screen downtown Toledo, and she's just been everywhere. So Haylie, I'm proud of you. I'm a proud friend. And she's always told me that she's wanted to get on the big TV downtown Toledo, and she got on it. I don't know if it was particularly the show she wanted to be on it for, but she got on it, and that's really cool. So yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I can talk about with this. There's probably certain experiences that I could talk about, but I gotta end this soon here. So maybe a future podcast, I'll talk about a few of my favorite moments from filming, some funny and whatnot. But I have some other ideas coming up for this podcast that I want to do, and not all these will be creative, like about my career. Some of them will be personal. I think the next one might be personal, because there's things that I think need to be talked about that aren't talked about enough, or just things I want to share about myself that are loaded topics, and I think that this podcast is a great way to do that. So that might be coming up next. So not all of this will be creative, but I hope you guys are enjoying this podcast. I'm really enjoying recording them. It gives me some time to just get a bunch of my thoughts out there and share a bunch of information without having to do a lot of editing. So I like it. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.